Welcome to Amsterdam. Today, I'm going to show you the side of this city that most people never get to see. Let's see the city through a local's eyes, the places, stories, and secrets that no one dares to show you. So grab your walking shoes and let's get started.
About to walk through the most infamous, controversial street in all of Europe. A neighborhood so notorious, I don't even need to say its name. We are just gonna let the glowing red reflections on the water do all the talking. But before we get to those spicy neon windows, look at this gorgeous sunset. The canals are glowing, the city looks like an absolute painting, and the vibes are immaculate. But let me give you a quick reality check. It is currently 9 p.m. If you move to the Netherlands in the summer, you can say a permanent goodbye to your circadian rhythm. Who are these giant people? Is this actually a good place to live, or just an overpriced Instagram trap? First things first, let's clear up the biggest identity crisis on the internet. What is this country actually called? Half the internet calls it Holland, the other half calls it the Netherlands, and the tourists just call it Amsterdam, because they genuinely do not realize the rest of the country exists. Here is the absolute truth. The country is the Netherlands. Holland is just two specific provinces inside of it, North and South Holland. Calling the entire country Holland is like visiting New York and calling the entire United States the Bronx. But honestly, the Dutch marketing board gave up trying to correct people decades ago. They just let you say whatever you want as long as you spend money at the gift shop. Geographically, we are located right in northwestern Europe, wedged directly between Germany and Belgium. And here is a crazy statistic for you. There are about 18 million people living here. To put that in perspective, that is 18 million people crammed to a country roughly the size of the U.S. state of Maryland. It is incredibly densely packed. But because their urban planning is practically witchcraft, it somehow feels like a cozy, functional village instead of a crowded nightmare. All right, keep moving, people. We are currently speed walking through the famous red light district because someone here is watching my every move like a hawk right now. Yes, it exists. Yes, it is exactly what you have heard. But here is the funniest reality check about this area. Internet searches make this neighborhood sound like some chaotic, lawless wonderland out of a movie. In reality, it is the safest, most highly regulated, wild side on planet Earth. When you walk through here, you aren't seeing danger. You are mostly just seeing terribly confused tourists eating giant Nutella waffles, British bachelor parties making incredibly poor life choices. And annoyed locals aggressively ringing their bicycle bells because you're standing in their way while they try to commute home from their accounting job. The whole thing feels less like a gritty underworld and more like an adult theme park run by strict project managers. The second most Googled question: do you need to speak Dutch to survive here? Honestly, no, you don't. And that is actually the most frustrating part. The Dutch speak English better than most native English speakers. They consume American and British media without subtitles from the time they are toddlers. So, here is what will happen to you. You will spend 6 months practicing a beautiful, grammatically correct Dutch sentence on your language app. You will walk into a bakery, take a deep breath, and deliver it perfectly. And the cashier will look at your face, instantly detect your accent, and reply. That will be 4 euros, mate. They will switch to English instantly because they value efficiency way more than they value your personal language journey. They do not have time for you to struggle through their vowels. It is slightly humiliating, but it is incredibly convenient for expats. Now, let's talk about the actual Dutch people. If you start typing, "Why are the Dutch?" into Google, the very first autocomplete is, "Why are the Dutch so tall?" It is not an exaggeration. The men here average about 6'1", and the women are around 5'8". You will spend your entire trip feeling like a hobbit. Scientists say it is a mix of natural selection and genetics. But if you look at their diet, the truth is obvious. They consume an ungodly amount of dairy. They drink glasses of plain milk with their lunch, not water, milk. Combine that with a diet of bread, cheese, and the sheer willpower to keep their heads above the rising sea level, and you get a nation of absolute giants. So, that brings us to the ultimate internet question. Is the Netherlands actually a good place to live? If you look at the raw statistics, absolutely. It consistently ranks in the top 10 globally for quality of life, work-life balance, and childhood happiness. You do not need to own a car, the healthcare system functions, and you get 5 weeks of paid vacation a year to go complain about the Dutch weather on a beach in Spain. But if you ask someone who actually lives here, they will tell you the brutal truth. The taxes will make you weep openly. The housing market is a literal Hunger Games competition, where you have to outbid 30 other people just to rent a closet. And the weather? The wind will destroy your umbrella, your hairstyle, and your will to live. It is an incredibly safe, beautiful, well-run country. But it is not a fairy tale. It is a highly organized, highly taxed business transaction that happens to take place in one of the most stunning architectural backdrops in Europe. So, there you have it. The reality of the Netherlands. It's a country where the sun sets at your bedtime. Everyone is a foot taller than you. The food is mostly deep fried, and the infrastructure is so flawlessly good that you almost forgive them for charging you €7 for a flat white. And I want you to be brutally honest, Dutch style. After seeing the reality of Amsterdam tonight, could you actually survive living here? Could you handle the permanent bluntness, the terrifying bicycle traffic, and the taxes? Or are you perfectly happy just watching from the safety of your couch? Let's get a debate going in the comments. Would you thrive here, or would you last about 5 minutes? And if you have visited before, what was the absolute biggest culture shock you experienced? Share your craziest stories down below. I read every single one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more unfiltered 4K walks. And I will see you in the next one.